Hello, Britt here to bring you the third day of the 13 Cards of Halloween card making series. I decided to take a page out of Christina Werner's book today and try to make a card within 5 minutes. I can tell you in advance, unfortunately, I did not make it. But one of the reasons right off the bat that I put myself behind is that obviously I should have cleaned off the workspace of all of the product that I was going to be using before I started the timer. But I decided to start it right then, and so I had to deal with the fact that I wasted about 15 or 20 seconds organizing my workspace. That was my first problem. My second problem was that, as you'll see later on in the video, the application that I used to time myself kept shutting my phone completely down, and to get back into the timer I had to turn my phone on and flip the screen up so that the timer would come up again, and that wasted a lot of time in the long run. But as I start out cutting out my paper here, I'm going to be using a 12 by 12 sheet from an older basic gray collection called Eerie. That's what that purple spiderweb paper, that's collection has a lot of deep saturated colors that have a lot of distressing, very much like sort of the old style heyday of basic gray. And you see there, I have to waste a lot of time every time that goes off. And I went ahead and switched up my card base from a pre-made card in gray by DCWV to a pre-made card in orange in order to try to draw in some more traditional colors and match back to some of my other embellishments, which include some glitter die cuts from K & Company's Halloween collection from last year, and a little bit of Ikeboo matte stack paper there that I just punched a circle out of. So I ink around the edges of the circle, and I know that I'm going to try to make that the base for my focal image, but I was really hoping that this pack of chipboards had a round frame that would fit on that circle, but it didn't end up working out. And you'll see me here as I go through that I waste a lot of time looking for that embellishment that's not actually in that pack. And I initially I had a much different idea of how this card would end up, and I didn't end up really being happy with any of those big embellishments on the front of this card based on the rest of the stuff that I wanted to do with it. So you'll see me here in just a second abandon those and try to just use the die cuts from K & Company, which eventually is what I go with. So I have a bat in orange there, and I have a cat sitting on a pumpkin in black. So I'm just gonna put that bat behind the cat and give the cat some spooky, shiny orange wings so that he's a supernatural cat now. The other thing that I really did wrong was, instead of stamping or finding some pre-made embellishment that had a Halloween sentiment on it, I decided that I wanted to pull out one of these old Making Memories foil flock and glitter packs that I had just never gotten into, and still to this day just love and think are really cute, and try to do this sentiment in flocking, which I end up doing it fine, but it wasted a ton of time looking through it, trying to get it out of the package, and then rubbing that on twice, because you rub on the adhesive first. That's what I'm rubbing on right now. It's a clear sheet with adhesive that's in a sentiment, and there's patterns and stuff in there as well, but this one says Happy Halloween. And then you have to go back and get the flock sheet, or I use flock, but you can use glitter comes in it and foil comes in it, and you rub on the material, so you have to do the rub-on basically twice. And at this point, I don't even have anything glued down, and I already have less than 30 seconds. So as you can see, that 5 minutes went incredibly fast, and I am not a super fast card maker in any way. So I end up at this point accepting that there's no possible way I'm going to make it, and just start adding things that I had been planning on possibly adding. This is a paper tape by, sorry that's a little out of the shot. This is a paper tape from Martha Stewart Crafts. It is a little older. I kind of reached back into my stash for a lot of this stuff, but since washi tape is so prevalent now in the industry, and since there's so much seasonal, holiday, Halloween kind of stuff, and die cutting machines and stuff like that, most of the stuff I used on this card could either be represented in other products that are newer, or could be made on your own with cut files and an electronic cutting machine, which lots of people have. So I decided to just go ahead and try to use up some of my older stash on this card and in this challenge. And so as you see there, I'm getting down to 10 seconds, and my timer is going to go off here in a second. And so I actually here turn it back on. Yeah, I've turned it back on, and it's counting up now. So I'm almost to a minute over at this point, and I'm just sticking down my main focal image. So I pull out the sequin pack from DCWV, which has ended up being like my favorite go-to wonderful embellishment pack for the Halloween crafting season this year. And I decide that I'm just going to go along with the circle motif and pepper the background of the card with these large diameter sequins in orange to pull in some of the background color, and silver to give it some more sparkle that's not just the glitter of the die cuts. You'll see here in a second that I didn't make you struggle through all the extra things, because at this point I'm just taking my time. I've totally failed on the 5-minute challenge, and I'm just trying to make a card that I like. And so I'm not really hurrying. There were some gaps in between me running out of time and deciding that I just didn't really care. So I'm gluing down the sequence with this 3-in-1 glue that I believe is from Beacon. It's like the best. It's like hot glue, but it's cold. It's crazy awesome. And if you don't have some, you need it. So I just went ahead and stopped the timer at that point and decided that I was going to go more than a couple minutes over. So I'm just about finished, and there's some stills of what the finished card looks like. I hope that you'll join me again tomorrow when I have just a regular card making video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.